So welcome to How to Live in Love. My name is Alexander Bell, and in this talk I'm going to explain to you the very purpose of everything that's happening to you right now and what you need to be focusing on. And when you understand why you're in this situation, whatever situation you're in, why these things are happening to you, why these things are happening in the world, and what you need to focus on, when you understand these things, then all the struggle will end. All the suffering, all the pain, all the anxiety and all the fear will end. But you have to have the correct perspective. So the purpose of what's happening in your life right now, in fact, the very reason you're here is to heal. We are here to heal. We are on a journey of healing. And what does that mean? What does healing mean? It means healing our heart, or allowing our heart to be healed by what some call God, or you might call divine light, allowing our heart to be healed. And that means releasing our fear, all of it. Releasing all the pain that we've experienced, letting it go. Emptying our heart of all the negativity, all the pain, fear, anger, all the grief, allowing our heart to be cleansed from all of those things. Because as this occurs, as our heart is cleansed of all its impurities, then we see life clearly. Our heart is filled with love, and we realize what our purpose is, what we are here to do. We are here to be a vessel for love, so that love can flow through us towards the people around us, so that we can be a force for healing in their lives, so that we can help them go through this very same process. And we are all here to go through this exact same process. If you're not focusing on your healing, if you're not focusing on allowing your heart to be healed, if that's not your top priority, then you are distracted. And I'm not saying it should be your only focus. I'm not saying you should only be concerned with the healing of your own heart. In fact, the whole purpose of allowing our heart to heal is that so we can give to others. So we can give the amazing, incomprehensible love that comes into our heart, so that we can share that with others, so that we can love them, forgive them, help them to see clearly, see beyond their fears and anxieties, help them to have hope. You know, we are here to help each other. But internally, our own focus needs to be on allowing all the impurities from our heart to be dissolved, allowing the fear to be healed, allowing the anger to be healed, allowing the grief and the pain to disappear from our heart. So how do we do this? How do we allow our heart to be healed? Well, essentially, we have to open our heart to God, because we can't heal ourselves. We can make decisions which facilitate healing. For example, we can choose to be more active. We can choose to have a more active lifestyle. We can choose to spend more time in nature. We can choose to eat more lighter foods, more natural foods, less processed foods, less carbohydrates. We can make all these choices and many, many more. We can choose to not give our attention to negative information in the media, and instead to spend our time with our family or our loved ones, or talking to people who are having struggles or needing help. You know, we've got all these choices in our hands. And that's a big responsibility, to make these choices, because they really determine which direction we go in. Our choices determine which direction we go in. And the most intelligent choice you can make is the choice to open your heart to this divine force of love, which some call God, which I call God. You don't need to name it, but it's real, it exists. I can tell you this with absolute authority after 25 years, on a spiritual quest, on the spiritual path of opening my mind and opening my heart. God is absolutely real. This divine force of intelligent love, which can communicate with you personally, which can actually protect you from anything, which can provide for you, steer your life in the right direction to make you meet the people you need to meet, make the right circumstances occur in your life that you most need, for your healing, by the way. Everything is for the purposes of your healing. You know, we hear a lot about manifesting your desires. But manifesting your desires is not going to help you heal. And this is really, really important to understand. You know, this is kind of taken over the spiritual circles. People thinking life is about getting what you want and achieving your dreams, and that's not the case. That is a diversion, a distraction that I think has been intentionally put into the spiritual arena. Because none of those things are going to help you heal. Getting what you want, fulfilling your dreams. What heals your heart is allowing the divine force of love to fully permeate every cell of your heart, every cell of your being. Every part of you needs to be permeated by that force, which means you dropping your resistance to it. The main obstacle we have to the illumination of our heart is our resistance. And resistance is fear, because fear is tension. When we think of something we don't like in our mind, you would call that a fear. When we think of something we don't want, then our body immediately tenses up, because it's resisting that idea. It doesn't want it to happen, because we don't like it and we don't want it to happen. So our body goes into a state of tension immediately, because our body always treats things that the mind shows it as if they were real. So when we imagine something bad happening to us, some kind of future scenario that's very unappealing or fearsome, then we tense up, our body tenses up and our heart tenses up. And that means we're in a state of resistance. That's self-protection. And we are resisting the thing that we think is threatening us. But it's not real, it's in our mind. So we are resisting something in a very real way with our body and with our heart. We're resisting something, protecting ourselves from something which is not real. It's in our mind. And so that resistance is what keeps us separate from the divine force of love which surrounds you, which is reality itself and can protect you from everything. And in fact, the ultimate protection occurs in your mind when you stop going into these negative thoughts, stop going into fearful thoughts, stop listening to them, stop giving them attention, stop walking down these avenues of pessimistic, hopeless thinking, where you imagine the worst case scenario, when you think you know how things are going to be. We've been hypnotized by the media to see the future in a very negative way, to fear for our safety, to be very insecure. This is what the media has done to us, because it makes us better consumers. And we give away our power when we're in fear and insecurity. We give away our power because we want something external to make us feel safe. But in fact, we experience true safety when we stop giving attention to those thoughts. When we actually come back to the reality of this moment, and breathe and feel our body, connect to our body, allow our body to relax. Now this is the key. If you want to feel safe and you want to feel secure, you have to allow your body to relax. Because when your body relaxes, fear cannot be present. When you're in a state of relaxation, fear, which is tension, cannot be present in your body. You cannot be afraid and relaxed at the same time. It's impossible. It's totally impossible. If you're afraid, then you're in tension. If you're relaxed, then you are at ease, and you are affirming that there is no threat. When you relax your body and you relax your heart, and you allow yourself to be calm, you are affirming with your entire being that there is no threat, that you are not threatened. And this is the most important thing you can do. If you want to feel safe, if you want to feel secure, if you want to feel at peace, you have to come back to this moment, forget all the ideas and thoughts about the future, relax your body, and allow a feeling of peace and security and safety to return. Because safety isn't an idea, security isn't an idea, peace is not an idea, it's an experience in this very moment. We have to stop thinking about trying to find safety in the future by stocking up food or by buying weapons or by, thinking we have to protect ourselves from bad things which are coming in the world, etc., etc. We have to experience safety in this moment. And this is the only moment we can feel safe in, by the way. And the only way you can feel safe in this moment is to relax, let go of the tension, which is fear, and you let go of the resistance, And this in turn, letting go of the resistance, allows the force of love, the divine force of love, which some call God, it allows it to come into your body, it allows it to permeate through your body and through your heart. And this is healing. This allows your heart to be healed. It allows your body to be recalibrated by love, because we've been conditioned and calibrated, primarily by the media in our society, for fear. We've been calibrated for the operating system of fear, which is thought-based. You'll notice this, that fear always involves your thoughts. And your mind will say, yes, I want to relax, but... And then you think of all these things that you think are going to happen. You think of all these things which are threatening you. And they seem so real because they seem very logical in your brain. But they're in your mind. They're in the realm of thought. And that's where the pitfall is. That's where the danger is. When you go into that realm of thought, then that's where all these fears are. But if you come back to the present moment and you ignore every single thought, you don't believe a single thought, and you have to remember the mind is very compelling and it's very persuasive. You don't believe a single thought. And you come back to your body and you say, okay, I'm going to relax. I'm going to affirm that I am safe in this moment. I'm going to let myself experience safety in this moment. And you allow your body to relax. You allow your muscles to relax. You breathe deeply. Allow the oxygen to flow through your cells, through your blood, and cleanse you, because oxygen is very, very cleansing. It cleanses all these toxins out of our blood and out of our cells. We have to experience safety in this moment. No one else can do this for you. No one else can make you feel truly safe. It's only when you relax out of the fear, out of the resistance, and you relax. It's the key word here. This is why I'm repeating it over and over again, because if you want to experience peace and you want to experience freedom and you want to experience safety, divine safety, then you have to relax out of the fear, let go of the fear, let go of the tension and the resistance. And as I said, this is what heals us. We can only heal when we're not in a state of tension. Our heart cannot heal when we're in tension, because tension is essentially, as I said, resistance. It's like a barrier. Tension is a barrier to the universe. This is why the media wants us to live in fear, because it wants to keep us separate from divine truth. Divine truth is experienced not in our mind, but in our body and in our heart. It's felt. We feel it permeating us, feel the love of God permeating us. When we drop all resistance, we drop all the barriers, and we relax our body, and we trust. And this is another key word, trust. Trust that we don't need to be anxious. Trust that we don't need to plan for our future safety. Trust that we can just let go in this moment without thinking about anything, without thinking about impending threat, without any thought at all. We can relax and enjoy the peace of God in this moment. And that means we will feel God's love. We will feel God's healing energy flowing through us. And as this cleanses us, because this is what cleanses our heart, love is what cleanses our heart, as God's love cleanses our heart and sets us free from our fear, which is what we need to be set free from, sets us free from our pain and our resistance and our anger, as God's love sets us free from all of these things, then we realize that there is this powerhouse of joy in our heart. There is something in our heart which wants to be joyful, that in fact is innately joyful. It wants to smile, it wants to laugh, it wants to sing, it wants to celebrate. There is no reason in the universe why we should not live in celebration, why we should not live in joy. All the reasons come from our mind. When I say to you, well, can you tell me why you shouldn't be joyful? Can you tell me why you shouldn't be happy? Why you shouldn't be free? Then you'll probably think, well, okay, here are all the reasons why I shouldn't be free. You have to go into your head. You have to go into your thoughts to explain why you shouldn't be happy. But when you don't go into your thoughts and you stay with the peace in your heart and you ignore every single thought which wants to tell you why you should be worried, why you should be afraid, why you should be anxious, why you should be angry, why you should be in resistance, why you should be fighting these people and those people and preparing for the worst case scenario. All those thoughts, if you don't go into them, if you can kind of cut the line that takes you into that place and say, no, I'm not going there, and you stay in the present moment. You stay with your body, you relax, and you just feel the truth of life in this moment, which is the peace. And springing up from within that peace, there is joy, great joy, because you are free. You are free and you are not threatened. There is nothing threatening you. As I said, the threat lies in your thoughts. When you go into your thoughts, then you generate threat. So do not go into your thoughts, because there is no threat in anywhere, in any other place. There is no threat elsewhere. All the thoughts are generated by, all the threat is generated by your thoughts. So there is no threat. There is no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to be angry. Relax and trust. Trust that it is safe to be relaxed and open, to open your heart in this moment and feel God's presence, because you will. As I said, I've been on this path for 25 years, and I know the reality of God. I know the reality of divine love. And when you relax your heart, you experience it. When you relax your heart is filled with this divine truth. It's very experiential. It's not a cerebral understanding that you need to remember or need to think about. You don't need to think about it. If there's one thing you need to remember when you get caught up in your thoughts, when you get caught up in your anxiety, when you get caught up in your anger, or so on and so forth, if there's one thing you need to remember, it's to come out of your mind and relax your body and let all the resistance disappear from your body. Because we get separated from our body. When there's resistance in our body, and we can't really feel our connection to our body, we get separated. Life can't flow through our body when it's in tension and resistance. And so we get trapped in our head because our attention can't flow through our body because it's being held tight, it's being held in resistance. There's no space for us to be in our body. And so we get lost in this world of thoughts. We get trapped in the ivory tower, so to speak. And we can't get back down until we come back and relax our body. We can only be in our body fully and experience what God wants to give us, which is the reality of peace and joy. We can only experience that when we relax our body, feel our body, drop the tension, drop the resistance, and relax deeper and deeper and deeper. Just keep relaxing, because this is what brings us closer and closer and closer to the kingdom of love, the kingdom of joy, the kingdom of divine peace and harmony and all the things we long for, divine safety, divine protection, liberation. This is where we go when we drop the fear, drop the resistance, and we relax and sink into the peace that flows through our veins, that wants to flow through our veins. We sink into that. We accept it. We dive deeply into it and we say, yes, I surrender myself to this peace. I open my heart to God's healing love. I am completely open to God's healing love. It's all I want. I'm not interested in fear. I'm not interested in thoughts. I'm not interested in understanding the world anymore. I just want to be completely with God. And when you say that, and when you mean it, and when you ask God to help you drop your resistance and relax in His presence, then you experience the healing that you so need. We all need this healing so, so deeply. Because as we experience this healing, as we remember what life is and what it means to be connected to divine love, as we remember and we feel it, and it recalibrates our body, then we become a new creature. We no longer become a creature of fear and primal insecurity and primal desires for food and pleasure. We could become a creature of peace, a creature of love, a creature of joy and healing. And then this is when we become a real force for change and for healing in the lives of the people around us. And in fact, we don't even need to speak or communicate to other people if we don't want to. Just being recalibrated by love, by healing, affects everyone around you. It affects the entire population without you even doing anything, because we are all connected on the spiritual level. This is not a material world. It's a spiritual world which looks like a material world. The material world is just basically how can I put this? A manifestation or a play of what's really going on, which is spiritual. And so when we allow ourselves to be in this realm of love and healing and peace, then that is transmitted instantly to all our human brothers and sisters. And this is why the most important thing you need to do is to allow yourself to be healed. Allow your heart to be healed. Let go of the anger. Let go of the fear. Let go of the resistance. And then you will not only be used by God as a being of love, as a being of healing and giving, and this is the most fulfilling thing you can do, by the way. If you really want true fulfillment and true satisfaction and truly rewarding experiences, then this comes when you let go of your resistance and you allow yourself to be used by love, allow yourself to be moved by love, and to be a vessel of love for the benefit of the world, for the benefit of yourself. And then life becomes a really amazing journey where we are giving and sharing and really transmitting, being a transmitter, like a lighthouse for divine love. And there is nothing more you need. There is nothing more your heart wants than to be a transmitter, a lighthouse, a beacon of light, love, joy, peace, and healing. So thank you for listening to this talk. I wish you well, and God bless you.